Hey folks, the latest trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has had our theory fanatic, mystery lover, lore explorer, and all-round Zelda fan minds exploding with ideas and speculations regarding the game. In my opinion, this trailer, whilst feeling like a ton, still only scratches the surface of what the full game will have in store for us. I've got a lot of topics to cover, and I've already begun covering them, as you can see. For today's topic, we'll be discussing and speculating on rising structures, with a focus on what could be beneath them. But that's not all. For this video, we will be joined by another Zelda creator, Moxie Watts.
I am beyond stoked to be here, thanks a ton for having me. If everything is a legend in Zelda, then it's all up for speculation anyway. I love exploring deep into the lore and looking for the connections. I am the Charlie meme, it's me guys! Look, I just think that we're missing something big here, and I want to know how the bigger story will tie up all the loose ends.
I'm really happy to have you on and very excited to get into this one. As always on my channel, guests have the honour of saying the famous line. Take it away.
Be sure to grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. Also be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. And let's get into this one.
To start off, let's do a quick recap of some structures we've seen rising so far across the trailers. The main ones to pick out here are the Lomai Labyrinths, magnificent works of the ancient Zonai. Well, if you thought they were spectacular in Breath of the Wild, get ready for this game. They are now Skyborn. Then we can look towards another work of the Zonai, the Thundra Plateau. It's pretty difficult to make out at first, and then at second, but if you zoom in and look real close, you can see that something has been altered here. The main structure has risen. We also see a lot of random holes across Hyrule, which likely indicates pieces moving up. More on that later. But let's get into what we're all really here for. The speculation.
What could be underneath these locations? When the underground caves were announced, it opened the floodgates for heavy speculation. Something that has always stuck out to me is the Zonai doors and Hebra leading to the unregistered Leviathan. The bones in the desert likely belong to the Ocean King, and the set in Eldin are probably the Windfish. Upon closer inspection, there's no way this is a Leviathan. Banoon and I did a lot of work and research to learn how to extract this asset, but we've finally got it. This may not look like much, but this skeleton resembles King Dodongo. Hebra could be hiding Dodongo's cavern underneath the snow. One of the problems with this idea is the skeleton does not have claws. They seem to go backward, kind of like a fish. This could have been a water version of a Dodongo. There is a horn that comes straight out of the back of its head. There is little mobility in the neck on the skeleton. But the other two Leviathan look to have much more range of motion in the neck. If the Great Sea flooded Hyrule, then the water Dodongo could have lived in these caverns. It is a mountain after all. It could have once been a volcano. Reptiles grow bigger with a lot of space, and Hebra is a huge empty region. It's also very icy, and ice means water. It should be considered that these skeletons could be reanimated in the new game. Imagine some kind of underwater battle with the skeleton Dodongo. Though, another idea to be taken into consideration is that it was a place to convene with the being, much like meeting Jaboon in Ocarina of Time. In Minish Cap, there's a series of underground tunnels beneath Hyrule Town. These caves were accessed using mulmits, pushing statues, and even falling down a well. Speaking of falling down wells, in Ocarina of Time beneath Kakariko Village is a series of different spooky underground caverns. The Shadow Temple is a labyrinth that was, quote, built with the blood and bones of Hyrule's evil dead. The Sheikah would take enemies here to be interrogated, or worse. One last location worth mentioning is the ancient mining facility. Timeshift stones were mined and likely refined for use at this location. There's many other channels suggesting the idea that timeshift stones were used in the construction of the Sheikah technology, which will be linked in the description below. This could be the place where the Sheikah created the Guardians. It looks like it already had all the right equipment for the job, with the conveyor belts, minecarts, and lots of timeshift stones. If you want a more in-depth look at where it could be in Breath of the Wild, head over to my channel. Honestly, I could go on forever speculating about the underground areas. Come on, Hyrule Gamer, give us some of your juicy speculation.
Alright. I have a few things to say about this, and let me tell you, it's pretty damn speculative. But hey, that's what I love. For me, I am definitely on board with past locations returning in some way, shape or form like you said, perhaps even just as references. However, the biggest thing for me is the new underground. It's clear from a few shots, particularly this one, that it's going to be big. We obviously need a way to get down there, and looking at Hyrule as it was seen in Breath of the Wild, there aren't any cave entrances that go very deep, with structures seen in the first game such as the labyrinths, other Zonai structures, and more. I see this as opening up entrances to the new expansive underground. I won't go too deep, get it? Into the underground itself, as I recently did a video on that, which I've linked below if you want to check it out. To summarise a point from that video in relation to this topic, I mentioned that all the underground shots we've seen so far take on slightly different appearances, some more green and possibly near the surface, and others more dark and deep looking. My personal speculation regarding that is that we will see multiple entrances to the underground, likely via multiple different structures rising on the surface, such as the Lomai Labyrinths, the Thundra Plateau, and the Zonai Ruins in Faron, just to name a few. Something important and cool to know is that a lot of the architecture we've seen down here has been heavily connected to the Zonai, particularly in the first trailer back in 2019. It surely can't be a coincidence that a lot of the structures seen rising in this latest trailer are also works of the Zonai, right? I mean, come on. The labyrinths in the Thundra Plateau, and what we can assume is where the Zonai Ruins are. It can't be a coincidence. That's my main thoughts there, and to reiterate, I am also very much on board with what Moxie said. The speculation floodgates are well and truly open. With that discussed, something else we should definitely take a look at together is other structures and locations that could rise up and what could come of that. Would you like to start us off there, Moxie?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's get back to those bones. If you don't buy the idea that Dodongo's cavern is under Hebra, I have another idea about this location. You know the giant storm we've seen in both the cover art and the trailer? When closely inspecting the storm, there appears to possibly be a structure hiding within it. The shape can only be seen in a few flashes of lightning. Before you say that there is no way there could be a structure in the storm, later in the trailer, the storm is clear, and what do you know? A structure. After seeing this, I had to begin exploring this location. In many other videos, it has been discussed that there may be some form of jump in time in Hyrule. This could result in the Leviathan coming back to life somehow. Perhaps this could be why the Zonai built the doors leading to the skeleton. They have to be knocked down with a giant boulder to reach the area. They may have wished to protect the remains of this gargantuan creature. However, there doesn't appear to be any other structures even remotely close by. The closest one is North Lomai Labyrinth. This is quite peculiar. I imagine these doors to be connected to an even larger structure. These skeletons could come back as bosses in Tears of the Kingdom. Imagine fighting these huge reanimated skeletons in some sort of sky battle within the storm cloud. It reminds me of another giant storm we've seen in the past game. Let's go back to Skyward Sword. Where is the only Leviathan? Thunderhead. Levias is a huge whale-like creature Link assists with removing a parasite and helps nurse him back to health with some hearty pumpkin stew. Levias teaches Link the Song of the Hero to unlock the Sky Keep housing the entrances to the Triforce. Much like the dragons, he was tasked to protect the sky. There could be a return of the Leviathan, connected to a dungeon or quest, much like Skyward Sword. Another location I'm eager to see is City in the Sky. The Titty Chickens are somehow the masters of engineering, despite their lack of arms. They assisted in the creation of the Temple of Time and the Sky Cannons. They are essentially the architects of the goddesses. Imagine, given how much time has passed since Twilight Princess, how advanced their society has become. If they were capable of building giant hovering machines and cannons that can launch you into the sky, it makes you wonder what kind of machines they are capable of, given the existence of divine beasts. There is even evidence of their existence. In this shot using the gyro puzzle, on the side of the structure there is a rupee-like shape etched in the side, much like the ones seen on the floor in City in the Sky. This same decorative texture is seen in one other place, in Lanayru mining facility. The colors are even the same orange and green, the color scheme of Lanayru Desert. Much like how the Zonai tractor is powered by a vessel full of green energy, the Sandship is also powered by huge generators housing green energy. The Oka may have been the engineers of the ancient robots, given the cannon on Skipper's boat may have been a prototype of the sky cannons. This further solidifies a connection the Oka may share with the ancient technology, because there are way too many coincidences here. There could even be connections to the Twilight based on the generators alone. I still don't know how they could be connected, but you gotta admit, the resemblance is undeniable. Another structure in the sky looks way too familiar. A return of the moon from Majora's Mask, perhaps?
Maybe. We might have to get a look at the other side and see if there is a face. Okay, so for me, when it comes to other locations that could experience this new mysterious rising phenomenon, the one place that calls out to me, well, more so the Twilight Princess megafan within me, is the Arbiter's Grounds. I've discussed this location on numerous occasions in regards to this game, but more so in a general sense of it being a dungeon. On the topic of structures rising, something I could see happening, and would love to see happen, is the currently long buried beneath the sand Arbiter's Grounds rising up and opening up a pathway down below, to the underground. It doesn't necessarily have to be shooting up into the sky like others, it could just be pushed up enough to open up a pathway, either with the same phenomenon seen with the Zonai structures, or similar to Hyrule Castle and Death Mountain having malice bursting out. The grounds are connected to Ganondorf historically, so it could make a lot of sense. There is even a good reason as to why this would potentially happen. We know that Ganondorf in this game appears to be creating, or trying to create, a world of total darkness, and down here could be what remains of the Mirror of Twilight, or Death Sword. It's a reach, but it's an interesting one. He is familiar with this ancient location, and it could all be tied together. Another thing to note is that this general idea could also be applied to various locations across the kingdom. The Akkala Citadel, something beneath Lake Hylia, and so on. Anywhere could burst up. To try and tie a lot of speculation together, and ideas, this game is already packed with a ton of mysteries, and we've only scratched the surface of its full contents. It's honestly quite crazy just how many ideas, theories, speculations and more has come from just 4 trailers. A lot is unknown, and please do keep in mind that this is all very speculative and just ideas. Before wrapping up, I would like to say a massive thank you to Moxie for joining me in today's video.
No. Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts with your community. I could endlessly speculate on these and many other topics in Zelda. Head on over to my channel for more crackpot theories and to watch the other video we did together. Hyrule Gamer, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. Thank you so much again for having me.
It was a blast having you on. There will be another video of us talking more on Tears of the Kingdom going up over on their channel tomorrow, by the way. I've linked the channel below and highly recommend checking out some of their other videos in the meantime, and look out for tomorrow's upload. For now, let me know what you thought of everything discussed in this video down below. I look forward to reading your thoughts. Be sure to drop a wee like down below if you enjoyed, and also consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content all the way up to the release of Tears of the Kingdom and beyond. Follow my social media pages linked below to keep up to date, or send in a snack or drink photo. And as always, a huge massive amazing shout out goes to all of my channel supporters. Thanks a ton. Your support really helps me to make these videos week in, week out, all month long, 365 days a year. 365 days a year. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout out upon joining and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting via the links below. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.